Hey guys, welcome back to Andy's Dinosaur Reviews. As you can see, what you are looking at right here in front of you is the brand new 2019 Collecta Deluxe Baryonyx, and it is awesome. Absolutely awesome looking at first glance here. I just got this guy, could not wait to review it for you, so I got it up here on the channel right away because I know it's a figure that a lot of people were really looking forward to, myself included. And I will say at first glance here, it is very, very nice looking, very striking looking. It has really quite nice looking paint applied with kind of a spotted, almost a leopard type look. And overall really is quite an appealing looking Baryonyx. So without further ado, let's get a closer look. So starting up here at the head sculpt looks really quite nice here. You can see some very incredible sculpt work that has been put into it. Look how nicely done the scales are all throughout the entire head. Really beautiful scaling, nice detail around the eyes. The eyes have a very nice appearance, beautifully glossed, a nice black coloration. Very small eyes, but they look really nice. You can see the ear there right behind the eye. Very nice nostrils sculpted out. Beautiful skin texture all over on the head. I think the paint application on the head looks very nice as well, very naturally applied. Nothing overly flashy that I could not see a Baryonyx absolutely looking like. Very nice crest up here on the head, it's a yellowish color to really make that stand out to you, and they've done a good job on that as well. The jaw is articulated, the inside of the mouth you can see looks quite nice. Nice pinkish coloration for the tongue. Some of the paint from the teeth is actually run down onto the tongue, so there is a little bit of sloppiness as far as the paint of the teeth go. The upper side and everything, that skin flap all has that nice pinkish color that you see on the tongue. The teeth overall look pretty good. Definitely a little sloppy as far as the paint goes, but it's not anything to complain about. I think they look alright. Definitely not bad. I love that here on the face you can see it's got this nice light yellow, and then it tapers off and gets to a darker yellow as you go and run the lower jaw, which of course does have some brown spots here throughout, which seems to be basically the theme behind this Baryonyx's appearance. Again, the eye on this side is really beautifully painted, just like on the previous side. Really has a very real look to it. And then as you start to run down the neck, you can see all kinds of nice detailing that you were so used to and accustomed to when it comes to Collecta. They do such a good job overall on the sculpts, in my opinion, of their figures. As you get down here into the shoulder blade, you can see the shoulder blade is protruding from the skin there a good bit. Very nicely sculpted arms, and there are so many different variations of brown, honestly, throughout the body, giving it a very realistic look as far as skin tone. And it's kind of like this orangish brown. It's like a weird light brown. There's kind of like an orange tint to the head here and the top of the neck, and then it gets like this lighter orangey brown type color. It's really strange, but it's a really beautiful color that they've chosen. The hands look to be sculpted very nicely. Beautifully painted nails with a nice gray. They aren't sloppy or anything. They look to be painted perfectly. And then you come back up into the stomach. Nice skin folding going on here in the stomach region. You can really see the skin bunching up here as the left leg is pushing up into the body. Nice bumps that run along the body, some osteoderms all over. Very nicely sculpted skin texture once again, and you can see that it has this long ridge that runs to the top of the back. Really nicely done, and all honestly looks perfectly painted. There's no sloppiness with that at all, and I think that helps to give it such a very striking, beautiful appearance. Nice musculature here in the thigh. Some nice little skin folding going on here and wrinkling of the skin. Again, showing the movement of the dinosaur with the leg pulling and stretching the skin here. Nice calf muscles. As we move down into the feet, the feet are very nicely sculpted. There's a little bit of sloppiness on the nails, but they still look pretty darn nice. You can see looking over there at the opposing foot that the dew claw is present and nicely painted as well. And you come up, the underside is a yellowish color. There's some very nice large scaling going on. Nice wrinkling of the skin again as we run out the tail, and those ridges that are up here on the top form into two groups here now on the sides and then lead back to one again. Very nice sculpt work, very beautifully painted. Again, you can see this brown that's kind of spotted and splotched on. Looks very nice as well, and you can once again get a hint of all the different variations of that orangey brown color that is the majority of the body all throughout. It really looks quite beautiful. And then looking at this side again, we start to run down the neck. Same similar detail as we saw on the opposing side. Maybe a little bit of hanging skin here in the throat. The body is in a straightforward position, so there's not going to be much of a difference as far as the way the skin appears on this side as opposed to the other side, as it's not really turning its head in any particular direction, just literally looking pretty much straightforward. Maybe a very light hint of a left turn, but not too much. Nice skin wrinkling and folding of the skin here in the neck. As you get down here into the shoulder, once again you can take note of the shoulder blade elaborated a bit from the skin. Very beautiful sculpt here on the arm again. Nicely sculpted nails that have no sloppiness at all on the hand. Coming back up into the stomach, it has a little bit of girth in the stomach, but not too much. You can see that it's probably fairly well fed, but it definitely hasn't been overfeeding or anything. Very nice skin texture again. Beautiful stomach wrinkling here going on of the skin. Nice musculature here in the thigh of the back leg here. Nice calf muscle once again, and these spots run down the entire leg. Nicely done as far as the foot sculpt, and the nails look nicer on this side I think than the other side, but still they look quite nice on both regardless. Nice little skin folding going on here behind the tail once again, and then we look at those ridges on the top. Really beautiful long tail, almost a crocodilian type of an appearance as far as the tail goes. And then you come down here to the underside, you can see the cloaca is present. It has been painted to appear as though it's a bit dirty, so it looks very realistic as far as the overall realism of Collecta figures goes. It's just off the charts. Overall, I think this is really beautiful. The base also looks quite nice. It's that new style base that Collecta has recently started to include with their figures. Lots of very nice fine detailing, some leaves in there. A little hard to see as the Baryonyx is attached to the base and he kind of blocks it out a little bit, but it does overall look really good, just like the Baryonyx itself. As I said previously, it does have an articulated jaw. The jaw works perfectly. You can open it pretty much to any distance you would like, and it stays. So very nicely done as far as that goes. As far as the size goes on this new Baryonyx, from the head to the tail, you are looking at about 10¼ inches long, or about 27 centimeters in length. And for a height, the highest point is probably the snout, so you're looking at about 3½ inches, or just under 9 centimeters, maybe just a hair under, or almost actually on the dot, I think. For a size comparison, there is the Papo T-Rex, giving you a good idea of how much larger he is than our Baryonyx friend here. But this should show just how nicely sculpted, how beautifully sculpted this Baryonyx is, and he's a decent bit smaller than the Papo Rex, who is a pretty large figure. So for him to have a very similar style as far as the impressive amount of sculpt in it to a Papo Rex, that should just give you a good idea of how impressive this Baryonyx is. It overall is really highly detailed and quite a nice size. I really like it. I believe it's 1/40th scale, so it's honestly a beautiful sized Baryonyx. So this Baryonyx, the new deluxe version from Collecta, well, I will say it is one heck of a step above the previous Baryonyx from Collecta, the older one, which I kind of liked, but obviously now is really outdated. This one here is a very accurate, more up-to-date version of the Baryonyx than what you see on the previous Collecta release, and this one is a much more well-done version. This thing is actually quite beautiful. The overall paint application is so beautifully done on this, and I really love it. There are just so many different tones of color and kind of variations of color throughout. As far as the orange type color, it's like an orangey brown. It's really hard to describe, but it's like an orange type color, but it kind of has like a brown vibe to it. And then of course it has these chocolate brown stripes that run all throughout the body, giving it almost a leopard-like appearance, and I really dig that too. I think it looks quite beautiful. And there also appears to have been a wash maybe included with a darker coloration to really help bring out the detail and make the detail pop. So the paint application is a definite plus on this figure. The teeth have a little bit of sloppiness, but it's nothing terrible to really complain about. I think the overall sculpt on this is beautiful. There is an incredible amount of very small fine detailing as always. As far as the actual pose, it is in just a walking pose. Looks really nice in the position it's in. It has a very striking look to the figure, but in a very natural way with the way that it is posed. I think it looks quite nice. Maybe it kind of appears as it's got its arms out, that maybe it's about to fight off another Baryonyx or something, and it's kind of trying to hold its ground, so maybe that's the idea behind the pose. The head sculpt, everything looks awesome. The paint, everything there looks awesome. The base, as always, is beautiful, as these new Collect Day bases are. Again, I would love to see some paint on those bases as opposed to just that one solid color, but they do still really look quite nice. So without question, this Baryonyx is absolute awesomeness and definitely exceeded my expectations for how nice I thought it would be. I was really highly anticipating this figure along with the Carnotaurus, actually pretty much everything from Collect Day this year. I'm not even going to name certain dinosaurs or species because they all were such beautiful decisions on the part of Collect Day, and I was really excited for so many of them, but this Baryonyx was definitely one that was on the top of my list for how excited I was for it, and I think that it has, without question, exceeded my expectations and is really beautiful in person. So go ahead, buy this awesome Baryonyx, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next review. Thanks for watching.